See you down there.
Yeah, my brother.
Have fun. See you in a few.
One boogie, get it. All right, 3, 2, 1. See ya.
You are listening to Exit Point, a podcast about the advancement of base jumping and the exploration of its culture. Join us as we discover striking insights and hear gripping stories from the world's most extreme adventure athletes and community members. And now, one of our hosts will try to set the record straight as they dive into the deep end with another exciting guest.
Oh my God, that's the sickest thing I ever did in my life! Woo!
Welcome back to Exit Point. Hosting this episode is Tim Howell, a former guest whose episode can be listened to by scrolling all the way back to number 11. He is joined by his longtime friend, Scott Paterson, also known as Scotty P., who is a professional wingsuit athlete, extreme sports media producer, and demonstration jumper. Hailing originally from Australia, Scott lives full-time in Switzerland and works full-time as a sponsored athlete and professional skydiving and base jumping instructor. In this episode, Tim and Scott discuss what it was like to be at the leading edge of base progression during one of the most experimental eras, and the changes that Scott has made over the years to maintain a sustainable practice while keeping his joy for the pursuit of base jumping alive. So without further ado, let's get them both on the track.
This is going to be weird because we probably have these conversations anyway, but without the camera and being recorded.
Yeah.
It feels a little bit fake, but at the same time.
It's hard to forget about a camera as well, isn't it?
Yeah, there we go. So I was kind of chatting to Eva last night about what I could ask you in bits and pieces. And then she reminded me that we first jumped, it was probably about 10 years ago. And it was a bunch of us that hiked up to the cross. Do you remember the exit? It begins with P. Poncione?
Poncione.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
I remember that jump really well. You had the big red Venom wingsuit.
Yeah, I remember that suit.
And I don't think I knew you before that, but I knew your videos. Because I remember seeing you doing a wingsuit gainer off the swing in KL.
Yeah.
Thinking that was mental.
Back in the days,
Back in the days, exactly. So let's talk about back in the day, because I also remember seeing a video where you were doing sort of parkour combined with bass.
Yeah.
And it was in an edit that you made.
Yeah. That was fun.
So like, how long ago was that? How long ago into your bass career was that? And sort of what was your mindset back then?
And that was probably 2013, 2014, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe even a little bit later. I can't remember exactly. I was training a lot for the KL Tower. Doing aerials. I went and did like a lot of trampolining and high diving. And I'm also around that time went to Tonsai.
Okay,
spent like 2.5 months there.
Wow.
And one of the guys that I was hanging out with a lot, he was climbing there. He was like a parkour dude, Australian parkour guy. And I got into parkour like through him. Like after that, I didn't know anything about parkour, but there's a scene in Australia and in Perth as well. So I met with a bunch of these guys and they were super cool. Like,
And with the whole idea to combine that into base jumping?
Yeah, so basically this guy like introduced me to some parkour guys in Thailand, in Bangkok. And that's where I got like access to like a bunch of buildings like through these guys. And the Perth parkour guys also got access into a bunch of buildings with them. Like they would like sometimes like climb up the outside of the buildings and go on like open doors and
I'm learning things about
like
you I
this.
never knew, dude. I've known you for 10 years. I never knew like that much into parkour.
It was super cool. And then there was another guy in Melbourne. I went over and visited him. He's into like urbex and photography and stuff. So he would like access rooftops and do like nighttime photography and like post them like super secretly under his urbex name.
And how
on
many
the
years
internet.
into your base jumping was this?
Maybe like 3 or 4 years,
Okay,
something
wow.
like that. Yeah.
So you've been jumping for like 15 years now?
Yep. Yeah, I did my first base jump in 2011.
And how would you, like I watched those videos, like I think it was in the same compilation of you back flying exit off the mushroom in a havoc.
Yeah.
And that was like
that was
Quite a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. Yeah.
And people kind of do these things nowadays thinking they're reinventing the wheel, and obviously not many people do those things, but that was 10 years plus ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Yeah, it was pretty unbridled back then. Like,
That's a great word for it.
yeah. These days you get like a lot more, interaction with experience, because there is experience.
Yeah,
Back then there was experienced guys, but there was like much less experience around. That's a big difference to today and what it was like back then. So kind of if you just had an idea, you just go and send it without too much pushback.
Yeah. And was that your approach to, say, doing a backfly exit off the mushroom?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it was just fun, man.
Yeah. But was it? So I came from like mountain biking, where free ride, where I'd see a drop and I'd be like getting psyched up. Yeah, let's just send it.
Yeah.
Whereas I never do that nowadays with base jumping.
Yeah.
Were you kind of in that mindset of just
Yeah.
like, let's see what happens?
I mean,
let's roll the dice.
Yeah, I kind of grew up with like BMX, so it was all about doing tricks.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Stuff like that.
In the worst case scenario, you break a collarbone. Sort of.
Yeah. And then it just sort of, through skydiving and then into base jumping, you could just get kind of creative, I guess.
Yeah.
And back then there was one guy, Zach.
Tessier.
Zach Tessier,
Oh, yeah.
He was pretty off the hook.
Yeah, insane.
Yeah, like doing front flips and,
Yeah.
what do you call it? Like wing overs into lines and stuff like that. Like really like back in the days.
I remember watching videos of him doing like 360s off the exit in a wingsuit off Via Ferrata.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And I've seen, he had a compilation back in the day where he's done, at that point, I'm pretty sure nobody had done what he was doing.
Yeah.
And nowadays,
Definitely not in a wingsuit.
definitely not in a wingsuit.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then people now have probably never even heard of Zach.
Yeah.
And are saying like, oh, it's the first ever double front flip in a wingsuit or whatever.
Yeah.
Having not known that these guys were doing it 10 years ago or more.
Yeah.
It was mega impressive.
No, it's interesting. Yeah, because there was like a big move into like doing that sort of stuff back then. And yeah, I don't know, basically seemed like it kind of went the other way. And more recently, like people are doing a lot more sort of like aerials in wingsuits and doing like, barrel rolls and corkscrews and stuff like that. Like the last
and the
probably
tunnel
5 or 6
probably
years.
massively helped influence that.
Hugely, yeah. And like the level of skill of flying, like there's a much higher like skill level in flying these days. Like the crossover from free flying, into skydiving and wingsuiting, and then like bringing that into base jumping as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Just general body awareness.
Yeah, I think generally like the level of flying is much higher. So people are much more comfortable like doing stuff.
So looking back, there maybe wasn't so much sort of people with experience that could offer you advice and things.
Yeah.
Having a look at back then, what you were doing and your mindset back then, has it changed a lot over the years to how you approach or do things nowadays?
Yeah, I mean for sure. I think like there was a few guys back then that was around, like James Bull and Dukes and stuff like that. They were probably like the more experienced like guys. And yeah, these days there's like I said, a lot more people. The entryway into base jumping is kind of a bit more sort of set. Yeah, I think a lot of that, unbridled kind of entry into the sport has been like pushed back.
Yeah.
Which is good. Which is actually super good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What would you say to people, because I have it quite regularly, of people saying, I'm crazy, I'm adrenaline addicted, I just want to go and try base jumping and we'll see what happens, without sort of prior experience and stuff. Like, I think there's in each generation somebody who thinks they can reinvent the wheel and they're special and they can get away with you know,
Yeah.
just winging it.
Yeah, they're over frothing, mate.
Over
you know?
frothing. That's the perfect phrase. for it.
Yeah, which is normal. I mean, it's the sport, right?
Yeah.
So like, you know, the sport is, you know, full of dreamers and
Yeah.
like adventurers and people that are sort of like outside the
Yeah,
box.
yeah.
And that's just the nature of the beast. Like, you're always going to have that. But yeah, like coming from other sports where you can like just push like as hard as you want, like
Yeah.
full on, like,
So true.
and you know, you can hurt yourself, like,
But
for
it's
sure,
not.
but it's not like on
Broken
the
collarbone,
same,
concussion.
it's not on the same level
Yeah.
As base jumping, because if you sort of make like one mistake, it can even be a small mistake that
Yeah.
could be like fatal or like severely like life changing. And this is like a big like mental kind of gap, I guess. You know, like a big change in like thought
Yeah.
and progression.
Yeah, massively.
Yeah.
I find it so strange, as you say, like other sports, like, you know, rock climbing and mountain biking, BMXing, you can push yourself and find the limit.
Yeah.
You should never really find the limit in base jumping.
Nah.
You stepped over the mark.
Yeah.
So how do you push yourself without finding the limit?
Yeah, it's a hard one because
Yeah.
you kind of have to like be operating like, you know,
Yeah.
between like, you know, 50 and 80% basically. Definitely a bit more on like the lower side, like early stages, and you know that can be a bit difficult
Yeah.
for people.
Was there ever a point?
It was difficult for me, so
Yeah. So in your early sort of base jumping career, was there ever a certain moment or a certain time where you were like, I've got to change my mindset here, or I've got to change the way I go about things? Was there a situation or?
Yeah, I mean, there was. I mean, I was exposed to like a fatality in
Yeah.
base jumping pretty early on. It was a super good friend of mine,
Shame, man.
and it was just like 6 months in,
Wow.
and we were all out together, and like the effect that has on you, it's really kind of hard to sort of, you know, pass that on to people that haven't been through it, because it's, you know, experience is about like actually experiencing something. And that's like, it's a horrible experience, absolutely terrible. And like, you know, you're trying to pass that on. It's a super difficult thing to kind of help people understand. And I think that was a pretty heavily like shaping experience for sure.
Were you not glad, but was almost fortunate that happened early on in your career, or?
Nah, I mean, for sure, not at all. Like glad about it.
No,
but
sorry, glad is the wrong word. But like it was. Maybe if it happened later on, it would have been too past the point, or.
But I mean, the thing is, like back then, the progression was so crazy. Like it didn't really stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
it just carried on until something bad happened.
It just sort of carried on. And I think that was in 2011, and then basically it peaked in 2016. From my memory, I mean, it's still pretty bad these days.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more people doing it. So like back then, you would kind of like know everybody, and
2016
you know,
was the Brevant.
2016 was the Brevant days. Yeah. Big learning period. And basically, I just remember there was like a point that was probably the major defining point where I changed like a huge like outlook and
2016.
perspective. Yeah. So just that whole period was insane. That period of 5 years, it was.
I remember
like, it was ridiculous.
The summer of, I think it was August, where somebody died. Not necessarily in Brevant, but a few in Brevant. Every day for 2 weeks, and on the last day, 2 people died.
Yeah,
It
was. I think June.
Was it June?
It was June.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I mean, my memory's pretty bad, but there was. I just remember like, just being somewhere, and I think I was in Slovenia, and I couldn't even open my phone. Like,
Because every day
open
it was
Facebook because it was just like a
Yeah.
new thing, and it was just like it was so heavy. Like it was so like depressing. Like,
what particularly changed your?
yeah, I guess like a lot of the joy that kind of I was sort of like getting from the sport. Like
Yeah.
it was just, I don't know, it's super hard to sort of like express, but it was just like constantly being like almost developing like this crazy like fear on the exit.
Yeah.
And you're just like what are we even doing here?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
And it wasn't just new jumpers, it was like high level jumpers at the time that were constantly having accidents. So it almost felt like futile.
It could be anyone.
Yeah. And it was like, yeah, is this actually kind of like survivable? And that changed me like in a pretty big way.
In the end, positively.
In the end, positively. Yeah. So like sort of got through that sort of phase, and then I was kind of over base jumping a bit, and focused more on sort of like skydiving. And then at the time, like I was getting a lot of kind of work through skydiving, like coaching and boogies and stuff. And it was super fun. So it was like, kind of found the fun in flying again. I wasn't base jumping so much. I was maybe doing like around 100 jumps a year for the next couple of years. But still doing trips and stuff like that. But
Just dialed it down a little.
yeah, dialed it down a little bit with a different sort of focus. And yeah, then just sort of evolved again.
Nice. But like grew the
Sort
love
of
for
back
it
into
again.
it.
And
Yeah. Found the passion again.
Yeah.
I almost quit out. I was pretty over it.
And convert to skydiving and still flying, but just like over base jumping.
Yeah. Just needed to take that like dogged approach, like out of my mind, I guess. Yeah.
And I think you're one of the few people out there that have probably been able to make a solid sort of career out of making money and making wingsuiting and base jumping your full-time work. Like how have you found that? How did you get into that?
Yeah, it was always sort of part-time actually until I moved here. It's for sure it's like it's not so easy. The money's not great, but
it's for the love of the game.
lifestyle is amazing. And yeah, for the love of the game, I mean that's it. It's just like it's a passion that sort of like drives you. And to have the opportunity to like just do it full time is like it's awesome. Like super stoked on it. But yeah, I always had something to kind of like fall back on, which was good, which was super good. Be able to take yourself out of that whole sort of scene and reset.
Yeah.
And just use it to basically plan and
So you'd say that's
next
important to
period.
have that sort of thing outside of base.
I would say it's pretty important, yeah. I mean, if you're fully just inside base jumping, I mean, I know some people do it, but I think it's like pretty mentally like
draining.
hectic. Yeah.
And there's something I've always thought about maybe the Aussies and the Americans, like a lot of the guys from Skydive Dubai having a sort of season of base.
Yeah.
I've got my sort of own, like ideas about it, but do you reckon there's some sort of pressure? Guys come over for 2-3 months over summer and they've got goals, they've got ambitions, but they've got to get them in the 2-3 months. How do you see that?
I mean, for sure, like, I mean, everybody's different, right? Everybody does it sort of like in a different way. And especially back where I was from in Perth, it's like the flattest part of the world, And like every jump, like you got to earn like pretty hard back home. So, like I guess back home I would do like 50 jumps over the year.
Really, yeah.
And then
buildings and antennas.
Yeah,
and stuff.
antennas and super low like quarries and then you'd book a trip, so it's just it's like a holiday, right? So then it's like cool, you just have that focus for like 3 months, like no work, no your family's back home, so you just have like the crew that you're with, and I mean the time's limited, and you just have full focus, full go. It's like I mean just full froth basically.
It is. I mean, it is full froth, and like quite a few of our friends, literally last week, the last week of their trip, that's when shit goes wrong and they've spudded in. I think I could probably count on 2 hands the sort of examples like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard one, right? Because you have the memories from, let's say, like the last trip, and then you like come back in, you're like, cool, we're gonna start like from here again, and just like keep going. But it's like, I mean, it's like everything. It's like a skill. You gotta warm up. You gotta get back into the mindset. You know, train your body for everything. So, you know, out of 3 months, like, you know, the first month should basically just be like getting back into it and warming up. And yeah, I mean, these days, if I, you know, go a month without a jump, it's like a long time.
Really?
But like a wingsuit base jump.
Yeah.
But like back then, it would be like a wingsuit base jump would be like 9 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And straight back into back into
And
Lauberton or whatever.
yeah, basically like these days, I still go and like warm up, even if it's been like a couple of weeks or a week or whatever. Go and try and do like a warm up jump before like a more sort of like intense jump. So, but you always kind of like constantly have the currency. Yeah. So you're always like current. But even like now, like if I go without a month and then I have to get recurrent, then it's like, thinking back, it's kind of like insane, right?
Yeah.
Like you're almost like, if you have like a 9-month period break, then you go back into it and it's like almost like relearning, starting from the beginning. Yeah.
I think it's a really nice idea. I think quite a few people have said it over the years, but to always leave something for next year.
Yeah.
I think that's quite a, you know, there are things that people now do in their first season of wingsuit base that I'm like, I don't feel the pressure to do them, you know, this year or next year. Like I'm like, there's tons of stuff. Leave it for
for
whenever.
sure. And there will always be like other stuff.
Yeah.
There'll always be like the next thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I get it. If you get something in your head, like, and you've got to get it out. Like, I mean, I fully understand sort of that. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of a way to sort of shape your mindset, is to stop that sort of like that push, like going for something if it's not, you know, 100% like good in terms of like weather or, you know, fatigue or whatever. So it's being able to let it go.
Yeah, you don't need it.
That's the idea behind it, I guess.
Yeah, I like
you
that.
know
Being
what I
able to
mean?
let it go.
Yeah. So like if you can let something go, your mind's going to be a lot more clearer. It's going to be a lot more focused when you're actually like on the job. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to perform better.
Yeah.
And there's always more. There's always more. I mean, so much stuff is getting explored, and yeah.
So is it when you mentioned being current, Thor, who kind of really helped Eva and I in the early years of us wingsuit base jumping, he always told me, you're probably the most prone to taking risks when you're current. So actually you're safer when you're current.
Yes and no.
Yes and no. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, when you're uncurrent and you take a couple of step backs, then you're in like a comfortable space.
Yeah.
Right, to get back up to like currency.
As long as you ease into it.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a way to do it, right? And then like the sort of like the more current you get, the more you want to push like sort of like past that. So I guess that's sort of like the danger area that he's talking about, right? Which in that way it's true, but at the same way, it's like life's about progression, right? So it's like you've got to get current, and when you get to that spot, then you got to understand the right steps, I guess, to get like to what you want to be doing, like the right sort of training behind it, the right sort of progression. You know, for like low starts, for one example. Just basically getting current, so you have the mechanics behind it all like sorted, but then sort of like understanding how it applies to like your future goals. So, you know, if you have like the numbers for something that you want to sort of like train for, how to take step by step like into that, and not just like get to a level of currency and go, yeah, cool, now I'm good. Like the numbers say it's good, but you know, maybe you haven't got, you know, like that visual like feeling.
Yeah.
So
you're saying it's really important to have both.
Yeah.
The visual and the sort of the experience and the numbers.
Yeah. So then, basically you get up to like that sort of level of currency, and then the best way is to have, you know, a good steps like going forward to get to whatever you want to do.
Like a planned out.
Yeah.
So interesting. You brought up the like the fly site, the data as well as visual. So like definitely when you guys were starting and when I started with Eva, a lot of things were sort of step-by-step progression because we'd go to one exit, which we knew wasn't as hard as this one.
Mm-hmm.
We did fine on that one, do a few on that, go to this one, go to the next one.
Yeah.
And slowly you'd get more and more technical.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays, I feel that a lot of people aren't doing that as much.
Yeah.
They're looking at the data, they
Yeah.
say, I can do it,
Yeah.
so I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
What-
That's a big thing these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Which I get because there is such a focus on on data. Like I do it myself, like with
I
students.
mean, not saying it's not important.
Yeah,
It's-
which is
it's great.
super
It is.
important. But then it's sort of like then the experience and to train like your mind to react when the visuals match
Yeah.
like what you're actually doing is I mean, it's a totally different sort of like story,
Yeah.
and yeah, you've got to train that into your body, into your mind, basically, and there's no way to get around that. So it's like, cool, the numbers line up, then you just kind of go and send it. But like if you just have, something that is surprising, you're like, whoa, like
Yeah.
the ground is like there like constantly or whatever,
Yeah.
and that's like shocking in that moment, and then you sort of like just do something that like hurts your performance
Yeah.
for when you're like comfortable, then then you're in like a really sort of like dangerous zone. So there's still like, okay, the numbers like say this and that, but you still want to train
You need that experience.
that experience.
There's
like,
there's nothing else that can beat experience.
yeah. So you need to match the visuals with the
Yeah.
feeling, and then the feeling like with the numbers, and then once you have a full understanding of that, then and you can kind of push a little bit, or start going opening stuff up and whatnot.
Yeah. No, I think that's just something that we see so much nowadays. People in their first year looking at data going, I can do that, so
Yeah.
I'm going to. And it's,
Pretty much, yeah.
for me, if you don't have that sort of repetition of the visuals and the feeling and, actually, 1 jump out of 10, I have a funky start.
Yeah, it could be anything, man.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. So, you've been jumping, I think, cutting edge stuff, top of your game for 15 years now. And you're not slowing down. You're not, you're jumping all the time. You live in the valley, like you're going on trips, opening stuff. You're still doing a lot of slider down. What keeps you motivated? What's keeping you going?
Yeah, the prime motivation is I still have like a huge desire for like exploration
Really?
and travel. But I mean, the biggest thing that keeps me like in everything is, it's the people that I'm like
Really?
spending time with. I mean, for sure. So it's kind of, my group's a bit smaller these days, but that's like
People you
kind
trust.
of by choice. Yeah, it's like people I trust for sure. And I know like with these people, then the experience is going to be like is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun, And I mean, I guess, that's sort of like the main motivating factor. I mean, I still have a huge passion for flying. I do like a lot of other flying sports as well. Like to mix it up. And
Do you reckon they all help each other?
yeah, I mean, 100%. Yeah, for sure. And it's good to be able to do different stuff, sort of like keeps the passion alive for everything. If like, let's say if I'm just focused on base jumping like 100% all the time, like I almost get like a little bit
Burnt out and
burnt out, like almost like same,
yeah.
same. So it's good to mix it up like with other stuff. And just like going and hanging out with friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you always want to hang out with your friends, and if your friends want to go base jumping, then you're going base
You're keen.
jumping, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
then
yeah.
I'm in. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's go.
I don't think there's many people that are like as sort of qualified of wingsuit base jumping as you that still do so much slider down as well.
Yeah, I love it, man.
You love it.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, slide down's a lot easier. You have
Yeah.
backpack weighs a lot less.
Yeah. Because like my wife, she never did any slider down really, a few here and there.
Yeah.
And I hear that from a lot of people. They're like, no, it's dangerous. You're opening close to the cliff, and like landings are sketchy, whatever. And they say, I'm going to stick to wingsuiting. But obviously, wingsuiting to me is ones and zeros if things go wrong.
Yeah.
Like you're good or you're really not good.
Yeah.
Whereas slider down, you can get away with a broken leg.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, the feeling's way different. Have you ever jumped in Blue Mountains in Australia?
No.
And
Tell us about the Blueies then.
That place is, that place is
Did you
intense.
have a little accident there? Did you twist an ankle or something?
No, I didn't quite twist an ankle, but I went there and, man, I put everything into the jumps, and I was barely like walking coming out. It was like with good landings.
Yeah,
there,
right.
Like it was
As good as it could be.
Yeah, it was as good as it could be. And yeah, it's a different sort of place.
Yeah.
And I mean, the feeling is so different because it's like you're standing on the exit, and it's like, okay, in wingsuiting, you're like, okay, you know, I've got this exit, I've got the line. You know, if something like really messes up, then, you know, you're going to die.
Yeah.
But it's like you sort of just put that in your back of your head because you don't jump if you think you're going to die, right?
Yeah.
So...
Well, you shouldn't do.
You shouldn't, yeah.
There's probably people out there
that's
that do.
right. But then, like, with the Blueies, you're like, okay, I'm not going to die.
But it's going to hurt.
But there's, like, a high chance that this is going to hurt. It's a pretty special place, I'll tell you that much. It's
Really cool.
interesting spot.
Do you see yourself stopping at this point? Like,
Do I see myself stopping?
Yeah. Slowing
Nah.
down, stopping, you're still...
I don't see it, but I kind of always had it in the back of my head that, you know, when it stops being sort of like fun and I stop getting a lot out of it, then I can let it go.
Yeah.
You know, like at the start, you couldn't even consider that, but then sort of now that it's kind of getting a bit more into it, yeah, for a long period, like I had that sort of mindset that I can actually like let it go. And
Because you've got other hobbies, because you've got other focuses.
yeah,
'cause
exactly.
You've got...
Yeah. And yeah, you can just change your focus for a little bit, you know. It was kind of like a weird one. It's a super hard sport to let go. I think it's yeah, I don't know what it is, but there's just something about it.
I think because it's a lifestyle, isn't it? It's,
Yeah,
you can't...
exactly. Yeah, and you know, then you sort of get like your group of like people like in the sport, and they're fucking super cool people. And it's like it's
found your
just
tribe.
hard to it's hard to kind of let like everything about it sort of like go. Initially, after I experienced the fatality of my friend Lucas, which was 6 months in, it was weird. It's like, why don't you just stop? You know, but in a way, it kind of, at the time, it sort of felt like if I just stopped, then it was all kind of for nothing. And so that kind of really sort of kept me in it for like a long time. And then after a couple of years, yeah, I think it probably, like we discussed, like around 2016, I was like, yeah, you know what, I can actually like let this go. Yeah, I can actually like leave it at any time, like, and it's totally fine.
So that 2016 experience, kind of you kept that mindset to now, like you can let it
pretty
go.
much. Yeah,
Like it's...
yeah, 100%. Like right now, even though it is my life, like it's like it's between skydiving and base jumping, right? But wingsuit flying like crosses like both of those. I can let it go. Like, yeah, if it stopped being like enjoyable, I mean, I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
But I could, and
do
I
you
could
think
quite happily
that's
go and
important
do something
for
else.
most people to have that sort of
Yeah,
idea?
I would say because otherwise, I mean, I can't speak for other people, but like I can just sort of think about it. You know, like if you're just so in it and desperate to stay in it, you know what I mean? Then it's sort of like an addiction. Like it's would then be pretty unhealthy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you have nothing else to fall back on, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's just it just seems like it would be just become more and more difficult that way. But
So I think that leads me into something that I think it's important to talk about, being sustainable.
yeah,
You know, I think guys like you who've been jumping for 15 years or more, you know, I look at you guys and I think you're super sustainable. You know, you're the sort of jumper that I want to be, and I think you're the sort of jumper most people should be like. In terms of, you know, you're doing everything that you want to do. You're happy. You're safe. You know, I don't think there's much ego involved.
there's always some, isn't there?
There's
mate?
always some.
You
There's
can't-
always some. We jump off cliffs for fun.
Yeah, you can't
But,
avoid it, mate.
But I
gotta
think
keep it
having
in
these
check.
backup, exactly, you need to be kept in check. Having these sort of other sports and stuff, I think is something, to me, that is one of the big ticks of being sustainable.
Yeah,
You know? And for the reasons you just said, you don't need to jump.
Yeah.
You know, any day you could just go, no, you know what, I'm going to go for a climb, a skydive, something else.
yeah, just a hike, you know.
Just a hike.
Yeah.
So what other things, when I use the word sustainable, do you think contributes into that?
I mean, experience for sure helps. Like you sort of like develop it. Because when you're first getting into it and you're super frothing, it's hard to let anything go. But then sort of, I mean, that sort of develops, right? So
Playing the long game?
playing the long game, yeah. And it's hard to see at the start.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like in anything in life. Like, you know, you start a new job and you're like frothing. You're like, oh, cool. This is actually pretty awesome. You know, making some money, and then you know that sort of becomes like tedious after a while, and you're like, oh, cool. I can sort of let it go. It's just like a progression. So I find it hard to like think that it's that side of it is something that you can sort of shortcut. But I guess the biggest key, especially for like the younger generation or the newer jumpers that haven't really got that like, you know, 8, 9, 10 years experience, is to find people like with that they sort of get along with, you know, and to spend time with them. So I think it's probably the biggest thing, because if you're just constantly surrounded by you know, your little drop zone crew that went into the base course and then now you guys are free, then you're going to carry that mentality through like what you do, right? But yeah, to kind of have like someone there to sort of feed off and get feedback and ideas and to see how their approach is, like that transmits, and it's super important.
Unfortunately, I think you tend to hang around like-minded people.
Yeah.
So if you're sketchy already, you're going to be hanging out with sketchy people.
Yeah, because that's what you're sort of drawn to.
Because that's what you're drawn to. That's your tribe. That's who you are. So maybe it's quite hard to sort of leave your clique, your tribe.
Yeah, I mean, it's super hard. It's difficult because they're the people you like to hang out with, which is just the sort of the way that it is. And yeah, I mean, it's easy to say, but sort of like hard to do is to be able to take like feedback then. So if you're like in your own little clique and, you know, then you're doing something and you start then getting like attention from more experienced jumpers in the way of saying, well, you should be like holding back or this and that, like this is crazy what you're doing. Like, do you actually understand? You know what I mean? And not taking that as like a
warning sign or a red flag.
Yeah, like not that they're having a go at you, they're just trying to help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, we're all sort of skydivers and base jumpers. We're not like, we don't understand the perfect way of approaching anything. It's sort of like,
it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, you just sort of like, you say it, and then it can be put people on the back foot.
Yeah.
And then it's like, then they're shut down and they're not receptive to anything, and that's sort of not what you want. But that's on both sides then, right? You know what I mean? So it's like the newer jumpers to sort of understand like that if people are all of a sudden coming in and trying to say stuff to them, then they should be open to that.
Yeah.
But then it's also on the more experienced jumpers, you know, there's some people that are better than others.
I'm awful. I think David Lafarge is very
how
good.
to like approach it, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's pretty
Do you find
pretty
yourself
interesting.
doing that? Are you Do you find it hard? Do you find
I
it?
find it hard to approach people. I'm pretty like kind of like shy in a way, and
Is it because of the haircut?
yeah, it's probably a big part of it. Yeah. So,
Cut that out. Cut that out.
but I kind of find it like hard to sort of like approach people because I never really liked unsolicited advice like myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I know like a lot of the time you're never going to listen to it anyway. So I like if I'm around someone or hanging out with someone, I've got no problem with telling them like kind of
So it's
how I
face to face. You
feel.
find it easy.
Yeah, face to face for sure, but
Yeah.
definitely sort of like, you know, if it's like online or just randomly like contacting people, like I'm not really, me personally, like super comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
Not really about
I, as you say, I don't think online it very rarely has an effect anyway.
Nah.
It's like
yeah, it's a difficult one. It's pretty funny, but
Yeah.
I like to see what's going
But
on.
I mean, to a degree, like we don't want the sport to have a bad image, like,
Yeah.
of people going in left, right, and centre. Like there is obviously a part where you just don't want to see friends or people that you know, or even just randomers going in for no reason.
Nah, yeah, never. For
So
sure
but yeah, it's hard to sort of convey those ideas, especially when people think they're the odd one out, they're going to be fine,
yeah.
and sometimes you can call it.
Sometimes you can call it. Yeah, it's surprisingly accurate. It's proven to be surprisingly accurate over the years.
What would you say are the red flags? We obviously don't need to say any names, but like,
Nah.
what do you think over the years where you've called it and you've been like, that's fucking sucks, that happened?
Yeah, I mean, it used to just be about like, you know, if somebody is out there like just pushing, like basically just going hard, it's like, okay, like for sure something's gonna happen. You know, like this person, and there's this, or sort of the name sort of gets around like as well. And like if you have, you know, a bunch of people sort of with the same opinion, then I mean, almost 100% is 100%. Large, I guess like a large percentage, like
Notional
has
100%.
proven to be
Yeah.
like correct, which is like, it's super sad. And like, I think one of the biggest like things is as well is if somebody is kind of shut themselves off to any sort of advice, and it kind of, that's, pretty clear.
Yeah,
Pretty
and
clear
almost
flag,
counteracting
red
that
flag.
advice. Not even just like shutting it down,
Yeah.
but like responding actively counteracting that advice.
Yeah, there's definitely a few people that are like that
Yeah.
have made it through
Yeah.
and doing super good.
Well, I made it
So-
through. Yeah, okay. But
So
but
it's
that's
not like
everyone thinks
100%.
they are that special person.
Yeah. So I'd say like in most cases that would be a pretty like major red flag.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still like, you know, mistakes can be made. Like
of
everyone's
course.
like human and this sort of stuff. So sometimes the reasons that accidents happen it's just like almost unbelievable. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's almost unbelievable. And that's like super hard to pick. And yeah, I guess like if you recognize that, you know, people are all of a sudden like you've got a lot of attention from like other base jumpers and stuff, then like, well, maybe I'm somehow in like a dangerous zone at the moment, you know. But then I also think if you're in that sort of zone, then you're not going to recognize it. So I
Because
don't
you're
know.
overwhelmed with it, with the sort of
Yeah. I mean, you're just frothing, you know.
just frothing.
Yeah.
Is there anything you particularly want to mention or talk about, or a topic or something that you think is really important that new jumpers should hear?
I guess it's a super good idea to kind of like try and like meet and hang out with people that have like a lot of experience, like either just hanging out, going on some adventures, or even some people like offer coaching, you know, get a group together or whatever and go with them for a couple of days or whatever, but just try and get like as much contact with people like that have been in the sport for a long time. And like I think this is sort of like the most valuable, like almost in every country I would say there's probably at least a handful of pretty experienced people that are also like super good. And yeah, basically just trying to hang out with them
Get the
and
most
spend
from
some
them.
time with them, get some,
Yeah.
see how they approach everything, get some
That's
ideas.
top advice from him.
That's what I would say.
Do you think your appetite for risk has changed over the years?
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah. I mean, I still love it.
Are there things that you wouldn't even like sort of consider doing?
Yeah, for sure.
that.
I mean, some of the jumps that I used to do, like there was some jumps back home that I used to do with my mates, and I think we did them a couple of times, repeated it a couple of times, and we just said like, yeah,
Done.
no way, we're never going to
Yeah.
do this one again. Like, and you just let it go from your
Yeah.
head, and sort of that style of jumping. It's when there is like no margin, like when you're doing a jump where everything has to like on top of like your own performance, but then everything has to go perfectly.
Sort of the uncontrollables.
Yeah, so like basically the opening direction, the winds, this sort of thing. Yeah, basically like I'm pretty happy to let that sort of stuff go these days.
That sort of stuff in general.
Yeah,
Those ones
and pretty happy to find like where everything like lines up.
Coming back to like being sustainable, I think that really helped. Instead of doing like these hardcore jumps again and again and again and getting closer and closer and closer to the ground, like you said earlier, you were really interested with exploring and traveling.
Yeah,
I think that's for me what really helps being sustainable, because there's always more to do in different countries.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah,
and some of these exits, you just came back from Canary Islands.
Canary Islands, yeah.
They were nice, big, chill jumps.
Yeah, they were like super comfortable.
Some of them.
Pretty comfortable. Like they were pretty comfortable. Some were like super, super nice. And yeah, I mean, like it's not about like seeing what you can get away with, but yeah, it's just about like the whole experience.
Exploring and
and that's like base jumping has always been that for me. Like that I wanted to learn everything within base jumping. That's why I do everything. That's why I do low jumps.
Yeah.
Like low static lines. To wingsuit jumps, like high alpine.
You love your two-piece tracking as well, don't you?
Two-piece tracking I moved away from.
Slick tracking instead?
Pretty early on. I'd probably do more slick tracking than two-piece, yeah. But still, then I'd rather put a wingsuit on, Yeah. But I learned sort of like all aspects of like base jumping, so that I could travel and base jump in every location.
Yeah.
So it's like you never know.
You're never going to be limited by what you can.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like I could rock up, and there could be like a 30-meter antenna, and you're just sort of like on the path or whatever your travels are taking you, and you just sort of come across and you're like, oh, sick! It'd be awesome to do a base jump here.
Yeah,
and you're just like, boom. Not like does it open? What's going to happen?
Yeah.
This and that.
You're never limited.
Yeah, you're never limited. And then same with the wingsuiting stuff, like to kind of like train in like a good environment to see what you can do. So then you can kind of like take that to other countries and different sort of environments and still be able to jump, because that's what it's all about.
I know you sort of run a few courses, or you help with a few courses. You got some stuff coming up. Do you want to like just expand on kind of what you offer?
I do a lot of like skydiving kind of coaching and stuff like that from first flights onwards. Same in base jumping. I haven't had such a big focus on the base jumping side of it, just because it can be pretty like stressful. Just being around sort of like.
So you're looking for the right sort of student?
Yeah, right sort of people. Yeah. So I don't really sort of advertise so much. Usually, if people get in contact with me, they know me or they know someone that I know, and then it's kind of cool. So I do sort of offer base jumping instruction, just mainly for wingsuiting.
With people who already have experience as well?
Also first flights.
First flight.
Yeah. But yeah, then on to like sort of more sort of like guiding sort of style, I guess. So that's sort of what I offer. Yeah.
So a couple of years ago, you really helped me with some short starts, and I think we only did 4 or 5 jumps that day.
Yeah.
Like, went from, remarkable difference. But
Yeah.
you do, you can offer coaching and stuff.
Yeah,
that side of things,
yeah,
and
100%.
analyzing data. or-
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's super important. And I just try to pass on sort of sort of what I know, but also a way for people to then go and train themselves. You know what I mean? So it's like, rather than trying to create like a reliance on your instructor, it's like try to understand how to do it, but then be able to like take it away yourself and do it. I think that's
Carry on working
the most valuable thing
Yeah.
that I sort of like think about.
Teach a man to fish and all that.
Yeah, that's the way, mate.
I don't know, has a fishing rod or something. And you run a course with Sam Hardy as well? Or a guide?
Yeah. So Sam sort of set up this whole wingsuit base camps, which is super nice. Like doing it so far around Chamonix.
Absolutely amazing classic.
Yeah. I mean that's basically, Sam was living there back in the days, and I was like spending pretty much all my trips like in around Chamonix. It was like the golden years. As hectic as it was also like you could just repeat like everything like an insane amount of times, and like the terrain you could fly, and basically everything taken from those years like basically formed like an ethos like kind of going forward.
And that's what you're using in this course.
Yeah.
You're teaching, guiding, and so it's a whole package.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. A lot of lessons learned. A lot of experience to pass on and share. Yeah.
And if people want to get in contact for these sort of courses or coaching?
I mean, I guess anyway, really, like
Carrier pigeon.
Yeah, carrier pigeon is probably the most effective.
You
No, but
got
like
Instagram,
Instagram, or contact details are on there and stuff like that. It's probably the easiest, to be honest. Yeah.
Well, I always send people your way. I think you're definitely somebody that has a lot to pass on.
Yeah. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, highly recommended. Thank you very much, Scotty Paterson. We're done.
Yeah, nice one. All right. Cheers, buddy.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have any thoughts you'd like to share with us about what you've just heard, please don't hesitate to reach out. And if you'd like to support this independent production, please leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts, and follow us on Instagram at exitpoint.podcast, where we'll update our followers with Exit Point merchandise available for purchase and ways to donate. Until next time, see you on the Exit Point.